Okay, I laid out my stars next to each other so I would know how to put them together so that they line up, the best that they can. And then when you're putting your glue on, you want to make sure you get your glue as close to your tip of your stars as possible, just because you want to make sure the whole piece stays together and that when you're distressing, you don't want your edges to come apart. So it's not a big deal. You can always go back and add more glue. But once you put this glue on, it really sticks. So you got to kind of work with it fast. And I'm just going to kind of mush my star shape around here until I get it kind of where I want it. I might have to redo, but you can see what I mean by how quick this glue dries. And I always have problems when I'm doing things on camera. It's like nothing wants to line up quite as well as it would if I was just doing it on my own. So there we go. And I'm going to just mush it all the way around. All right, and let's say when you're cutting, you don't have perfect edges. That's okay, because mine don't line up all great either, but they do pretty good, because we're just going to cover all that up with inking and distressing. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you what I mean by distressing with my craft knife. So you can see how the edges are here. You can see that pretty good. So anything that wasn't lining up, it's not going to matter now because you've distressed it and you're not going to see it. So I'm just going to do this all the way around on my star. So just keep going, and I will do all of my star pieces the same way. And if you find that your tips of your star are not quite perfectly glued, like here's just a little tiny bit opening up here, that's okay. You got the fine tip applicator here, and you just go in and squirt a little glue and give it a nice little mush, and then it will all go back together. So sometimes I just kind of do that after I've been distressing anyway, just to make sure that my edges stay together. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the shapes off the camera, since you have already seen how to do that on the camera. And sometimes when you look at the back, it's not as distressed as the front, so you can just kind of go around from this side and add a little more. So, and I guess what I'll do actually next, instead of going off camera, is I'm going to go ahead and ink my edges here, so you can see how I do that. I'm kind of a messy inker, so I use a Ranger foam block holder, foam applicator, I guess, with the foam pieces that just Velcro on, and I take the handles off because they're easier for me to hold this way. And then I've got my Rangers Distress Ink and Vintage Photo. I'm just going to take my lid off, and you see I work with glitter a lot, so I have lots of glitter on my pad here. One of my cats is in my drawer over here, playing around, having a good time. Okay, so I'm just going to take my piece and just kind of go around the edges like this. And this is going to give your piece that nice old world vintage feel. So just keep going till you get all your edges done. And so this is one side, and then I normally flip it over and I do the other side too. And so even if you have like those spots that were white, just ink them a little bit more and they're gonna be just fine. So otherwise, I mean, if you have like a whole lot of white showing on one side, then maybe you didn't put your piece together quite right, or you didn't cut it really well. You can just trim it. It's not going to be a big deal. So there we go. Okay, so here is my finished star. Front and backs. And I'm good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the pieces, and I'll be right back. Okay, I am back, and I am just using my Crocodile Big Bite here to poke a hole in the tip of my star. So So I have it right here at the top. So you can see, there we go. I have inked my Peace on Earth, the pink one, and my cardinal image, as well as my Merry and Christmas. And I did distress both the Merry and the Christmas as well. Now I am going to go ahead and show you how I added some foam pop-up dots here, and these are the Tombow Fix-It foam pads, and well, they're just foam pads or foam tabs. I like them in your package. You get 2 different sizes, small ones and large ones, and the white papers come off easy peasy, and that's why I like to use them. Let's see, I also went ahead and just kind of stuck one already on here that I have cut in half, so it's like a tiny one, and I cut it in half because part of my cardinal is going to go on that. At least in theory it's going to. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my paper backings here. And then I am going to place my Peace on Earth on my star shape. There we go. So you can see how that looks. And then I want my cardinal to be kind of half on and half off. So I'm just going to give him a little stick down there so I can see where he's at. And we think I'm going to go ahead and use the other half of my one little foam tab here and peel the paper off. There we go. And then come back to my piece and just kind of stick this on here somewhere where it can't be seen. There we go. So he's got a little bit more stability there. And then I am also going to use my fine tip applicator and my Art Glitter Designer Dries Clear Glue to just go ahead and lift him up a little and put just a dab of glue there on the corner of my piece. And I'm just going to tap it down. And I do use these skewers I get from, they're like just cheapo things that you can use on the barbecue. You know, you put like your chicken and for kebabs and stuff like that. I like to use them for when I am adding my wire. I will curl up my edges using these, so it works out really nice and gives that little pretty curly look, which you can see that I did here. So my wire was curled up. Alright, so now I have my pieces on the front, Peace on Earth with the cardinal, and then the back is just going to be really simple, Merry Christmas. And I think I'm going to just actually even do it super simple and not add any foam tabs, but maybe I will. I don't know. I guess I could add like a flower or something and make it pretty on the back too. So why not? All right, I'm easy like that. So, and I do like the fronts of my projects and the backs of my projects to look nice. I'm just going to go ahead and add 2 small ones here. And then I'm just going to do, let's see, oops, I got a hitchhiker. There we go. One. My fingers are all icky here. So I'll go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm going to just move this one for a minute. It was too close to the edge. And I'll grab one more for the center. There we go. All right, and then I'll go ahead and take my backing papers off. My Merry. And I think, oops, I am going to go just right here with my Merry, and then over here, go right below it with the Christmas. And I like these ornaments because they remind me of like the old German paper ornaments that you can get So I just actually have been printing mine out on some paper I got at Walmart. Nothing fancy, but they still look really pretty. Um, Photo paper, like a matte finish or a gloss finish would be nice too. But I'm just using some like HP paper, I believe it is, from Walmart. So nothing fancy, but they still have a really nice weight to them. So they feel like a, like a good ornament. Not too heavy on your tree, so when you hang them on there, your branches don't droop, but heavy enough that they're not going to fly away. Easy peasy. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go real quick and look through my goodies and see what kind of embellishments I'd like to add. So I will be right back. Okay, I am back, and what I did was I cut 2 pieces of leaves off of my leaf trim from Mayarts, which you can get from Really Reasonable Ribbon, and this is the moss green. It's my favorite. They're very pretty little ribbon leaves, and I'm going to use a deep ivory 15 millimeter mulberry rose. All right, so I am going to add some glue here. Possibly I might have to unclog my tip because I kind of left it while I was gone doing other things and then came back to do my video. So let's see. It's a good idea to leave like a little straight pen. They come with a stainless steel pen. I just happen to always lose mine. So if you leave that in there, you should be good to go. All right, so I have one leaf, and I'm going to put on my other leaf right here. And kind of place them how I want them. Maybe let that one down a little. Let's see. All right. I'm going to put another dollop of glue here on top of the leaves. And I'm just going to wedge my little rose in there. And I'll just hold it in place for a minute so that it can dry and set. So I'm liking how this looks so far. Now I just got to decide what color bow I want to do at the top, and if I want to add any other embellishments anywhere. So there's that. So let me show you here how cute. So we have our cardinal flying away, and there's a beautiful little rose and some leaves right underneath. So I think I'm gonna hold that, and I might readjust my leaf just one more time. There we go. Perfecto. Okay. So let's see. Stick that right here so you can see it a little better. I will be back, and we'll move on to the next step. Thanks. Okay, I have decided to use this green micro gingham, which I got from Really Reasonable Ribbon, as my hanger for my ornament. And what I like to do whenever I have any ribbon that has white in it, I like to ink my ribbon. And this is how I go about doing that. I just put my ribbon down on my ink pad, and I take my foam applicator, add a little ink to it, and then I just hold the part down and I run my piece of ribbon underneath it and on top of the ink pad. So then I usually will flip it over, and I'll do the other side too, just so I know I got enough ink on there to make it look like it's vintage and been around a while. So I know it's hard to tell on the camera, but it is definitely darker in color than it was when I first started. Let's see. Here we go. Okay. Now what I have done is I went ahead and put a piece through my ornament already. And let me see if I should zoom out a little bit here so you can see a little more. All right, and I'm just gonna tie a knot here at the top. So I have one loop. Now I'm going to tie a second loop, and then I am going to pull them tight together. So I just have this little knot here at the to make my hanger. And now I'm going to take these little pieces and just create a tiny bow. So I've got a little bow at the top of my hanger. So there we go. Easy peasy and cute at the same time. Okay, so now I've got my hanger, and then I will also, just to make things easier, I like to put a little glue, which I'm going to have to, there, let's see. I just put at the very tip, I think you can see. And I'm going to find which way I want my, here we go. And I'm just going to press and hold this in place because I'm going to put a bow on top, and it just stays in place better if I have my hanger glued down. So I just give that a pinch, and then I do the same thing on the back. Just add a little glue here, and then take my ribbon and my ornament and give it a little pinch. And I'm just going to hold it there for a moment till I feel that it's holding in place. All right, that's good enough. Okay, now I decided I also want to add some Juliet lace to my piece, which is one of my favorite trims from Really Reasonable Ribbon. And this is what it looks like. And in order for me to keep my star shape showing, instead of using the whole width of the piece, I went ahead and just cut like a 3-piece down, and I cut away part of the, like, the height, I guess, or I guess that's what you would say. So I cut part of it away so I can just easily tuck it in right here at the bottom, where I can still see the scallops, which you'll see here, but you don't see quite so much of the top part of the lace, and you can still tell that I have a star shape. So I'm going to go ahead and just run a little bead of glue here. And it's really dark because it's really early here in the morning. And so I have these really bright lights, and so it's hard for me to tell if my if the screen is too bright or not, because everything just is so bright. So hopefully you're able to see this okay on the camera. Okay, so I just want to give this, I think I'm going to tuck it in just a little bit more. Give it a little mash down so it stays with my glue. Stuck to my glue. So here we go. Oh, and you know what? I don't have my glasses on. That's probably part of my problem. So I'm going to be right back. I'm going to get my glasses. Okay, it's amazing how much better you can see when you wear your glasses. Okay, I am going to go ahead and I'm going to add some more of the Juliet lace to the top of my ornament here underneath the piece. And I'm just going to put a little line of my designer dries clear glue. So you can see it here, I think. You see that little white line. So then I'm just going to tuck this in. And then these things come in handy, these kebab stick thingies for moving things around. And another one of the reasons why I trim my lace is because I did use the pop dots. And since I put the pop dots under here, you know, the lace won't tuck in as far as, you know, you might want it to go. So there we go. I'm happy with how that looks. I'm going to next add this cute little button that I got from the Vintage Button Bonanza collection, and also the Cafe Latte collection from Really Reasonable Ribbon. They have lots of little brown buttons, and I like brown and cream because they are nice and vintage looking. And I'm going to attempt to put this peppermint baker's twine through my little button. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes I have good luck, sometimes not so much. And that real good with, ooh, actually got it the first try, so that's good. Okay, And I'm going to come back through. Almost, there we go. Great. That's always a bonus when I get it the first time. All right, and I don't know, maybe I'll tie a little bow first and see how that looks. But I'm planning on putting a bigger bow at the top, so I don't know if I want to have too many bows, but maybe not. So you just tie a knot and then make a bow. So nothing too fancy here. There we go. And I do find you have to play with the banker's twine because it wants to twist in place sometimes. Like one side will want to twist the way that the little fibers go to make the baker's twine. So let's see. That looks pretty good. Give it a little tug. And I usually make my bows, I go through all this work and I make them really tiny, just so they're just barely past the edge of the button, my loops. So there we go. Just want you to be able to see that. Okay. I'm gonna just clip my ends here. This 1 and 2. And just see how that's gonna look there. And I like it. So I am gonna go ahead and just glue that in place now. So I'm gonna put a dollop of glue here. And like I said earlier, this is the Designer Dries Clear, so it will dry clear. And let's see. Try to pick this up without making too much of a mess. Cute. Okay. I think I'm going to let this dry, so I'm going to move it out of the way here. And I'm going to get my bow it all back out here. Oh, and you're probably saying, what do you mean get it back out? Well, I had it out earlier and the bow I made was too big, and so I had made this bow the first time and it's too big for the ornament, so I had to make some adjustments. So here is my bow it all from Sutter, and this, my camera, I have like a little tiny camera on a tiny tripod, so it doesn't go up too high, so this is about as good as I'm going to get as far as you getting to see what's going on. But I have my pegs in their holders here, and I've got my back pegs are in the 4-inch and the 6-inch. So on the left is my 4 and the 6 is on my right. And then I have my front ones in the 4 and the 5-inch. And so this is going to make a double bow. And I am going to use this lipstick red, I think it's called seam binding from Really Reasonable Ribbon to make my bow. So I'm just going to have a tail in my left hand, and you start by going behind the pegs, and then you're just going to come between the pegs here, and then all the way back and around. So I've got my first part, and then this is just going to slide down in front of my other piece. And I'm going to come back to the front, and now I'm going to make a figure 8 loop on my front piece. And then I'm going to take my end of my ribbon and go all the way to the very back, and I'm going to make another figure 8 on the back 2 petal pieces here. So I've got this one and then this one, and then I just come back to the middle, and you can just fold over your ribbon here. All right, I had these extra pieces in just for the helping hands, but I'm not using those right now, so we don't need those. Now I also have my tail end, which now I'm just going to, if you look at the back here, you'll see that the ribbons will cross in the back. So you're just going to bring this one up into the front. And this is a part that's going to show your like knot. So you want it to look kind of pretty. And then I'm just pulling all the way back through. So now I have two pieces and I'm pulling them kind of tight. And then I am going to just pull back on my left piece here. And then I hold mine this way. And then, let's see, I hold my hands like this, cross in the back, and then come up through the bottom, and then just tie my knot. So then you get these nice two tails straight out back. You can make your little adjustments on your bow if you like. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull these just straight back. And then I'm going to fold them in half. It's kind of hard to tell with the, let's see, hold them this way and fold it in half. There we go. And then I'm going to have the folded side going to, the folded side is facing my right. And then I'm just going to clip on an angle. And that will give me two cute little tails. So here's one, and there's my other. Okay, so now I'm just going to pull this off. I had to get another tripod so that people can see a little better. But here's my bow. Super cute and easy peasy. All right, let's get this out of the way. Find somewhere to put it. Okay, now I got to find my ornament. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to place this pretty much right at the top of my ornament. So, super cutie cute. Just got to play around, decide how I want to do this exactly. All right. Usually this takes me a while to make adjustments, how I want it to look when it's on my piece. So I have to decide. It looks pretty cute. Thing is, I have my cardinal there, so I don't want to cover up my cardinal with the piece. So let me rethink this for a moment, and I will be right back. Okay, what I ended up doing was I went ahead and I just cut the tails and I made them shorter. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the top part of my point of my star. And then I'm going to place my bow right where I want it and give it a little mush down here. Smush it a little bit just so I know it's going to hold in place. And see how I like the way it looks. And it's cute. So I'm just going to hold it there and then let it dry. And I'm going to go ahead and get my glitters out here. I'm debating on what colors I'm going to use. I think I might use this fauna here. Otherwise, I might use another color called clementine. So I'm going to let this dry, and let's see if I can find that other color real quick so I can just make a little decision here on whether I want the one or the other. So it may just be convenient to stick with the color that I have. So this one doesn't look too bad either. All right, I'll be right back. I decided, even against the two color choices I was thinking before, and I have now decided I'm going to go with a red. So here I have two colors. I have garnet and I have true red. You'll notice that the true red is just a tad bit darker. And a lot of the times I use the garnet, which would be just fine, but today I'm going to go ahead and use the true red because it matches my bow just a tad bit better. But either color would work fine, and whatever color red you have. So what I'm going to do now is this way the red will be carried throughout the ornament. I'm going to go ahead and just add some little dots of glue here with my ultra fine tip. And then I am going to add the glitter to my background, and I just use a piece of scrap paper to collect my extra glitter. So let's see, I'm just going to add a little dot here, one here. You can't really see those all that much, but if someone looked at your ornament from the side, like when it's hanging on the tree, they'll be able to see that. And I might just put like one little dot here, one up here, and one over there. Okay, so let me show you so you can see where my glitter is. Or not my glitter, my glue. Okay, and then I have my piece of scrap paper, which you can tell I was printing out some of my collage sheets, and ink ran out. So I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle on the glitter and then give this a little tap. Ooh, looks pretty. Then I'm going to do some more glitter up here. And then once your piece is fully dried, then you'll be able to just flick off the rest of the glitter. And I also use a brush, like a paint brush with soft hairs, to brush off any excess. And I can show you what mine look like. I do a lot of toll painting, and I use these nice acrylic handled low Cornell brushes. They're the 7000 series. Bristles are really nice for painting. And if you leave them in the water, your handles don't crack. And they're also great for removing excess glitter. So I just take them and take off the excess glitter. But you want to do this, of course, once your glitter is dried. Otherwise, well, once your glue is dried, otherwise you're just going to smear everything. So here we go. Looks super cute. And all I do is I put my glue together, or my glitter back in, just simple, easy peasy. Give it a little couple taps, and sometimes I tap it on the ground and it makes all the glitter go into the fold, and then give it another few taps. Okay, and then it's a good idea to put your cap on your glitter, otherwise you're going to knock it off the table and make a big mess. And I'm just saying that because I do it all the time. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with how this is looking so far. So I'm going to leave it to dry, and we'll go ahead and go back to the other ornament. So I will be right back.